Hey everyone, it's Christine Gritman here with this week's edition of Social. I do this show every single week live at 12 noon Eastern Time, where I talk to one of my many smart friends about social media. And today's guest is Rebecca Councill, who was actually a last-minute sub-in, so I'm so appreciative because I wanted Rebecca on my show anyway. Hey Rebecca!
Hi Christine, nice to be on your show.
Thank you
I'm
so
used to
much.
saying nice to having you on my show, so
and I
this
have
is
been
a
on your
switch.
show. I'll have to put the link in that in the comments. And I was on your show because of Social Media Day Houston, which I am coming to on Thursday. Really, I'm coming over on Wednesday. So first, I just want to talk about backing up from Social Media Day Houston. Social Media Houston is a production of the Social Media Association of Houston, which you also run. So tell us a little bit about that, Rebecca.
So Social Media Association of Houston was formed 2 years after we started Social Media Day Houston.
Oh, so the conference came first. Cool.
We started Social Media Day Houston with 5 people at a tweet up 7 years ago.
Wow.
So it's grown from a 5-person tweet up to a 150-person conference. So we're very excited.
That is incredible. How did you grow it that well?
Word of mouth. Our amazing speakers, Christy Guillotine Calloway now, has been a tremendous effort in us getting to where we are now. She every year has spoken at our conference. She was our keynote last year. This year, her boss is on our PR panel. And people like her who are friends of our association and our conference help us grow. And so, it's important that you have people on your side who believe in the mission and who believe in what you do so that they can help you grow what you want to grow.
I love that. That's fantastic. So how would you describe this conference? There's a lot of Social Media Day conferences out there. What's going to be super awesome about the Houston one?
So ours is the original Houston Social Media Conference. There's another one now that's brought it up a couple of years ago.
Is that a different time of year, or is it also in June?
It's also in June.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we are a little different. We believe that it doesn't matter the size of your business or what you categorize your business with, as if you're a blogger or you're an agency or you're a corporation or an organization, that everybody should be together celebrating social media. And we do that by having different types of people speak at our conference that kind of can speak on one topic but hit on all of our categories. And so that's kind of what sets us apart from the other things that are happening around town.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not all like Facebook ads.
No, and
it's a lot more diverse in its topics.
I don't even think we've even had a topic at the conference about Facebook ads. We had a workshop on Facebook ads because they're so monstrous that you can't do it in a 1-hour session. There's just no way.
That's fair.
And so, so this year we have a PR panel that we're excited about bringing to people. We've had a panel on social listening, but never one on PR, and people were asking for it.
Yeah.
So we found the best people in PR, and we're bringing it in. We also have our first international speaker, Chris Tan. She's coming in from Mexico, and she's talking about the Facebook Messenger bots, which is amazing. She actually set up ours for us, so if you go into our Messenger, you can see how our bot works, and it's amazing.
And then we have Chris, you. Chris runs her own virtual summit, I think. So I've heard of her before.
I think so, yeah.
Or she did last year.
Yeah, she's amazing. She, I think she does actually. And then we have you talking about how to keep Social Media Day all year long, which I'm excited about because people are like, how do you do all of this by yourself? And I'm like, well, I don't. And so since you're going to be here, you're going to be able to actually show them.
Yeah.
And then we've got Ken.
Community.
Yeah. We've got Ken Watson talking about building your Instagram tribe. So, it doesn't matter how big your agency is or how small your blogging industry is. It's going to help you no matter where you're at. And then we've got a session.
One of his tips is going to be post cute corgis. I mean, that's been working really well for him.
His
#dogstagram.
Yes, and his dogs have their own account. And
Yes.
so,
I'll have to make sure
yeah.
I'm following his dogs. I know I follow him. I'm not sure if I follow the dogs themselves.
I think it's the Watson pups.
Aw. I'm going to go
Um,
follow them.
yeah. So, um, and then we have Katie coming in from Detroit, who's going to be talking about nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have a good mixture of everything, that it doesn't matter what your industry is. You'll find something here that you can grasp a hold of and keep on for the rest of the year.
And of course, we have Mr. Nonprofits himself as the keynote, Chris Strub.
We do. I was saving him for the last.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
actually going to be talking about why other people's content is better than yours.
I like
and so, yeah.
All right, that is going to be awesome. And so this isn't all you do. You do this conference. Social Media Association has events throughout the year too, right?
Yeah, they do. And we've actually partnered with, so here we have the U of H system at the University of Houston. And one of the schools inside of the U of H system is the School for Communications. And we've partnered with that program to house our monthly workshops for the rest of the year. And so the workshops will be on campus. Most of them will be free, which is very exciting because in the past we've had to charge. And yeah, so we'll have monthly workshops on, we'll have one on government and why social media should be within the government. We have somebody from the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office coming in to do that workshop. And yeah, we're very excited. And so, yeah, and then we have a social every December at the Hotel Island Bar at Bar Esperanto. And you'll get to see that when you get here.
Yep.
So our social the night before the conference is actually at Bar Esperanto. And if you're going to be in Houston that night and you're a nonprofit, I need you to contact me about a private screening that we have with Chris Strub and his movie. So.
Oh yeah, 50 States, 100 Days, the movie, which I've seen it twice, and I had to miss the screening that they just did in Lima, Ohio, because I was leaving sooner than the screening happened. So now I no longer am the world record holder of having seen the movie, besides Strub himself and his filmmaker, but I'm going to tie it back up in Houston. So Wednesday night, I'm tied for record holder again.
Yep. So we're very excited. And then, so those are just some of the things that I do that I don't get paid for.
Yeah. Now, what you do get paid for is you're the Chief Social Officer of CLR Digital Media Services. Am I correct? That's the job.
That's my job, yeah. That's the pay and jig.
And what does CLR do?
So CLR Digital Media is a social media and digital media company. We do social media management for people who don't want to do their own social media.
There's a lot of those.
We partner with companies who just need some consultation and they want to do it themselves, but they still need us like once a month to kind of help guide them through their analytics and Facebook ads. And then the other side of my business is I teach people how to be more digital and paperless. And so I'm an Evernote certified consultant. And I teach people how to do that through using Evernote. So.
I love that. I have a friend who's a digital organizer, and she's been banging the Evernote gong for years. She's like all about Evernote because it does so many different things.
Is that Joanne?
No. Her name's Lily
Joanne's
Rice.
a digital organizer, and she's amazing.
Yeah, it's so important nowadays.
Yeah.
It really is. So you do all these great things that are all based around, it seems like, helping build community and empower people. And to that end, another thing you do that helps build community and empower people, nice segue, right? Nice segue, is I know that the day after your big conference, Social Media Day Houston, you were on the board of the Texas Transgender Non-Discrimination Summit, which is the 2 days out. So that's Friday and Saturday. So I'd love to know, I mean, you're going to be switching gears, man, but at the same time, not in a way, you know. So I'd like to talk a little bit about your involvement with that and sort of how that organization has been able to hopefully use digital media to gain momentum.
Yeah, it's been a slow process.
Yeah.
The executive director of the summit has a bill named after her here in Texas.
Wow.
It's called the Josephine Titsworth Bill. And what it does is, so she was the first one who got campuses to have a total inclusive policy so that they don't discriminate on the basis of gender identity, gender expression, or sexual orientation.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
so,
so many people think that that's in place, and it is not in place in way too many
yeah,
places, especially the sexual orientation and gender identity parts of it. They just get forgotten. People are like, oh, yeah, there's equal rights. Yeah, no.
yeah. And so, now there's a bill in Texas that allows people to not help people based on religious preferences. So this thing that we're working on now is so important because college campuses need to have this in place, as do high schools and school districts, to help protect the youth that are coming up um, who identify as gender fluid or non-conforming or even trans. And so even people who are LGBT or pansexual, they need this protection in place. And so one of the things that we do every year is we have an annual summit, and we invite people from college campuses, whether they're administrators, their faculty, their students, their TAs, or whatever, to come and have some learning, have some skills, and teach them things that other people have tried in the past and gotten really great results from, and pass their learning down to these people. And so we hold it in a different city and in a different college campus every year. It's always on a college campus. And the school that we have it at usually has people who are on our planning committee with us for the whole year that help get us the things that we need, like the tech support, help us plan out the classroom and what the event's going to look like on campus and that type of stuff. So.
Is this connected to any sort of larger organization, or is it its own independent thing, basically?
It's a grassroots organization. We are an executive board of 5 and an advisory committee of 10. Mm-hmm. And so every year the planning committee looks different because the college campuses change every year.
Yep.
And so, So it's an amazing event. It's one that is very dear to my heart, being part of the LGBT community and being gender nonconforming myself. It's something that I think is very important. People don't really understand, pick one side or the other, that type of stuff. And so, as people understand, I'm sure that girls like to wear their boyfriend's clothes and they don't really think about it. Mm-hmm. But when that's who your identity is and that's how you feel more comfortable, it really matters. And so we're trying to show people that it doesn't matter what we look like, it's who we are on the inside. Like Martin Luther King said, you should be judged on your character and not what you look like.
Absolutely. Yeah, and people don't realize it's like, oh, labels, derp. It's like, no, other people are giving you the labels.
Yeah, and for some people, labels matter. I mean, they think that why do you have to label yourself? Well, because we need that exposure, and we need y'all to understand that we're no different than you are. Mm-hmm. And for now, until people can understand that, we have to label ourselves because it's part of our identity.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that there'll be teaching and skill building and all that stuff at this workshop. It's amazing that there's 2 whole days of workshop content. What sort of things are these experts going to be talking about in order to help empower their community?
So we have Title IX advisors coming in from other campuses to talk about Title IX on campus. Title IX is about discrimination, helping with sexual violence and that type of stuff. And so one of our campuses here in Houston last year gave a really good talk on Title IX and how their Title IX program works.
And people hear that and they think about sexual assaults on campus. They don't realize necessarily that sexual assault is hugely rampant against the transgender community. Yeah.
And the LGBT community as a whole, too. Mm-hmm. And so, we have students coming in from other campuses who want to talk about programs that they created on their campus that's really gung-ho and it's done a really good thing. We have people who are going to be talking about transphobia within the trans community and the LGBT community. A lot of people who are going through hormones, their body tends to change as they're trying to figure it out. And somebody's knocking on the door. I don't know. It's not my office.
It's not for you.
So, yeah. So as people change, sometimes they gain weight. And so there's a big type of discrimination within the trans community on people being obese and overweight. So we have that. We have people talking about, I'm going to bring you with me to the door.
Go for it.
We have people talking about, see, I lost my train of thought. What it's like to be on a campus and not have protection in place. Mm-hmm. We have a speaker from Berkeley. He's actually the vice chancellor of the campus. He's coming in because he was actually on our campus when the Josephine Titsworth bill took place. And so he was one of the advisors and one of the people on the committee who helped the bill get passed. Mm-hmm. So that University of Houston Clear Lake was the first campus to have the all-inclusive policy there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like 15 workshops. And so if you want more information about it, you can go to txtns.org, and all the workshops are laid out there underneath the summit.
That's great. Now, what has their digital strategy been in terms of not only raising awareness and participation in the conference, but also I imagine there's some degree of advocacy to get bills like that passed and to fight bills like the one that's currently being put forth?
We do a lot of it can't be done digitally yet. We actually go to those places.
Oh, wow.
And so
like
in
where?
Texas, our executive director will travel anywhere that people want her to go. And so she's been to South Dakota. She's been to, we went to Stephen F. Austin University a couple of years ago out in Nacka Nowhere, like literally nowhere, Texas. Mm-hmm. It's Nacogdoches, but we call it Nacka Nowhere. We've been to Killeen, Texas, where there's a big military base there. And so we go all over. And so one of the things that we're trying to do with the digital footprint is grab all of the campuses, whether they're independent school districts or college campuses, that have the non-discrimination policies in place, and we put them on our website. We kind of talk about them at the summit, and we are just now starting to build all that out. So, yeah, so there's that.
All right. Well, that works. I'm going to be wrapping up soon, but if anyone has any questions for Rebecca about either Social Media Day Houston or the Texas Transgender Non-Discrimination Summit or anything in between, anything digitally related, just fire it in there. But in the meantime, I guess I want to ask you what some of your favorite tips for building community online are, either around an event or around a cause or just in general for a business.
I think that you have to think about it as building the relationships with people. People do business with, and I know that they've probably heard this, but people do business with people that they like, love, and trust. Mm-hmm. And so you have to actually be the same online as you are offline. And so I'm very authentic in who I am online, and I'm very much the same offline. Mm-hmm. And people really appreciate that, because if you try to hand me your business card, I'm probably not going to take it unless I know I'm going to contact you. Mm-hmm. If I really don't see how we can work together in the future, I won't take your business card. Mm-hmm. Because I think that card should be saved for somebody who will want to build a business with you. And we can be friends and not have a business partnership together. I really believe that's true.
Keeping it real.
Yeah. And, I think that as long as you're not trying to pitch your crap to people all the time, and you want to work with other people, then I think that that's probably the most important part. Being authentic to who you are and what you do, and just not shoving your stuff down other people's throat. I don't think people like that.
No.
I know I don't like that. And so I want to know who you are on the inside and what your business is about, because I have very strict policies that I use whenever I work at the business, and the businesses that I work with have to have some sort of give back procedure. So they have to give back to the community some way, and they have to have some sort of appreciation for the LGBT community. So those two things are no give and no take with me and my business. So
that's fascinating. I'd like to delve a little bit further into how that works. Like, what sort of things are you seeing that some of your partners are doing to put that give back inclusion into their business?
So the client that I'm at right now is Hotel Island. They're actually my client.
And I'll be there on Wednesday. Woo!
You will. And I will give you a tour of the hotel.
Awesome.
But they have this wall when you walk in. It's the gratitude wall. And so these are businesses that they work with that give back to the community some way or another. And so, they also are a big partner with Charity Water, and 9% of everything that you buy in the bar goes to Charity Water.
Oh, wow.
And so whenever you buy snacks from my mother's China cabinet, which is in their lobby, 100% of that goes to Charity Water.
That is awesome. That's a really clear give back.
Yeah. And so I'm also working with the Harris County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council. They give back by helping women or people who are in abusive situations get out of that. They're a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And so even friends I partner with, PR Christina, we have done numerous things together with nonprofits. And so, last year, a group of us got together and created an art show for helping ending human trafficking. And so we had artists give us art pieces. Mm-hmm. We spent months building this art gala and had it for one night. And the money went to 3 different ending human trafficking organizations. So
that's
that
fantastic.
Type of stuff. Yeah. So, and we didn't get paid for any of it, but it was part of our passion project for the year.
Yeah. That's what you've got to do. If all you have is just those blinders on about making money just for your business, mm-hmm. It's really not going to be as satisfying.
Right. And so, knowing that somebody who you want to bring into your business has a passion about what they do and not just doing it for the money, I think it really helps with that connection. And so those are some of the things that I look for whenever I'm working with somebody as a partnership, or if I want to do a passion project or a working relationship.
That's fantastic. That's definitely something that every business should look into, how they can build a give back, how they can roll that into the way their business functions. My friend Kenyatta, she has a realty firm called R2M Realty, Ready to Move, and they donate a set portion of their commission to the nonprofit of the client's choice, which is really mm-hmm. nice. So I was able, when I sold and bought a house last year, I was able to make that donation to an organization I was on the board of at the time, Domestic Violence Organization, Center for Safety and Change. Yeah. So it's really nice to have that in there, because she supports plenty of organizations on her own. Mm-hmm. But it's nice that she gives the clients an opportunity to make that choice. And it has resulted in her having building relationships with some organizations she hadn't been involved with before, because that got her looking into them. So
yeah.
It's always a good thing.
And it's funny because people will ask me, well, do you give to nonprofits? Because you work with people who only give. And I do. 10% of my money every single month goes to, and either we switch it up. It's either ending human trafficking or LGBT communities, or something that works with both. And so every month before I get paid, that money goes out. And then at the end of the year, my wife and I give from our personal account to animal shelters and shelters that work with LGBT communities. So
that is huge. My company too, from the beginning, there was never there wasn't a formal give back of a percentage, but I made it clear which organizations I was supporting and donating to, and being in the directory and all that stuff. I do want to formalize that more going forward. The more I talk to people like you and other people who really have baked that into their business, the more I want to formalize it going forward. So yeah, we'll talk about that next week. I'll get some good tips from you as to how to make that happen. Well, thank you so much, Rebecca Councill. And we will see you next week at Social Media Day Houston. Everyone who's following me, which is hopefully all of you, and everyone who's following Rebecca, which should now be all of you as well, will see us tweeting SM Day. And then how do you pronounce that? Because I think SM Day, whoo!
It's SM Day HOU.
Yes.
So, yes.
So it looks like how.
It does.
Hugh.
It's short for Houston.
But I like Hugh. SM Day Hugh.
Yep. And yeah, I look forward to meeting you. Christina and I have never met in person, so this is going to be exciting. So yeah, thank you for having me on your show.
Thanks for being on. Thanks for having me on yours. Thanks for having me at your conference. And yeah, see everyone next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.